I tend to find that a large group of writers, they're not ever sure really how to write the middle of their book. Like they'll be happily like chunking away the beginning. They'll get to that first plot point where the character has to make a choice. And then they think, oh, but what now? Like, what am I going to fill this half of my novel with in the second act? So I think part of it is learning story structure. That's whether you're a discovery writer, pantser, whatever you want to call it, whether you're a discovery writer or a plotter or a framer, I do think it's useful to learn story structure for the simple reason that if plot is your issue, if that's where you get stuck, then at least you've got a framework in the back of your head. Because again, similar to writing advice and not really buying that all writing advice is one size fits all. I'm not really a massive believer in the plotter versus discovery writer divide, because a discovery writer, yes, they will write their draft and tell themselves the story without outlining in depth, but then when they get to the end, they'll go back and edit in their outline, essentially, like they're reverse outlining. Plotter just does it the other way around. So I don't really think there's a huge amount of difference. Having worked with a lot of clients who identify as one or the other, you do have to put story structure into your stories at some point. So if plot is your issue, then I would say learn more about story structure, however you want to do that. If setting is your issue, so I have some writers who, they'll be writing fantasy. I edit a lot of fantasy books because that's my genre, and they'll get to the new world or the undiscovered world or the magical world, and they'll go, oh, I just don't know how to describe what my character is seeing, hearing, feeling, all that stuff. And that stalls them. So if that's the case, I would recommend, I know I'm doing research at the moment for kind of a portal fantasy YA thing, and I'm watching a lot of epic fantasy stuff on TV just to really get the settings, take inspiration from those settings that I can then use in my novel. So if setting is your issue, then look for inspiration of how you can put that in.